Hi, I'm Jack Davis, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone. And with me, as always, my partner, Bobby Malak.
And it's never too early to talk about college football. It should be a really exciting season, and that's going to bring us into our first guest today, which we're super excited about. UCLA star wide receiver and your friend,
Jordan Payton.
How's it going, guys?
So, Jordan, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. And, you grew up as USC kind of being the talk of the town for football in LA. But now, do you think this is becoming a Bruin town?
I think most definitely it is. I think that, me growing up, that was kind of like the first school I committed to because of that, USC vibe and the USC energy all through the city. So I think now you kind of see the tides flipping. I'm beating them 2 years in a row, and just to continue to have that, we got to keep beating them and keep flipping everybody's mind.
do you think this is kind of a front-running town? We asked that the other week, talking about the Clippers and the Lakers. Do you think it's who's winning that kind of decides that?
They kind of think it's like the Clippers, Bruins right now, and before it was the Lakers and Trojans, and but we got to keep everybody happy. We got to keep winning and keep people buying our jerseys and buying our merchandise. So it's definitely something we got to keep this town going for UCLA. That's for sure.
But is that something you think about? Because you were originally a USC commit. Eventually you ended up at UCLA, and it's kind of like you made the right choice.
USC fan, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like, wow, what if I had stayed with USC? Because right now, just truthfully, UCLA is going this direction, and USC is going the opposite.
Right. You're right. I grew up a USC fan. Grew up all USC in my house. Reggie Bush all over. To now, UCLA stuff all over, and kind of flipping the whole thing. So I definitely think it's a front running town for sure.
Yeah. Then, how much are you guys paying attention to what USC is doing? Or is it just focused on what you guys are doing? Or are you paying attention when they're hiring Sarkisian, thinking about what's going on? Are you looking forward to that game every year?
You definitely look forward to it. It's the biggest game to us, but we definitely look at it. We have to focus on ourselves, and we know that. It's definitely something Coach Mora preaches on, is we look at yourselves, constantly focus on yourself, how you can get better. But, we definitely see all the stuff they're doing, we definitely see all that. So we definitely see some of the stuff, and we definitely, laugh or joke or get mad when we see something that they do, but we don't let it affect us for sure.
In that context, like every year you guys have been getting better under Coach Mora. What are your guys' expectations this year? Like, have you started verbalizing what you guys are expecting to do this season?
We definitely want a national championship.
So you guys start there, all the way up there. So it's not looking Pac-12 first. Yeah,
we definitely understand that the road is tough. We got Arizona State at Arizona State, Texas and Dallas. It's just all sorts of things in front of us. But with Brett coming back, we definitely knew that we have a huge shot at that. So we definitely want to start and take every game as it's our last, and just get that win, get that national championship here in Los Angeles.
How much pressure is that put on a college football team, though? Because what makes college football unique is even though the playoffs being introduced, there's so much pressure on each game because one loss can totally knock you out. So it's not like an NBA team or even a college basketball team where you can kind of build throughout the seasons. You hear so much about, in other sports, coaches talking about how this loss helped us. That's not the case for college football.
Right.
Even though it might be, it might help you in the long run, but it could hurt your national title chances. So how much pressure is that?
Oh, it's huge. If you came to spring ball, you definitely saw how much pressure was, put on us in every situation that we were in on the field. We were just constantly putting ourselves in the hardest and most chaotic environment to help us throughout the season. So that is definitely something Coach Mora has tried to do, by him taking us, to different places to work on, us in high, stress level situations. That's exactly how every single game is for us, high stress, a lot of pressure, a lot of chaos, and we definitely excel in those moments right now.
What I'm really fascinated by is how a switch can turn on and off. When you guys went from Rick Neuheisel to Jim Mora, you're talking about a team with a lot of the same players, a lot of the same core, and in 1 year it drastically turns around. Like, tell me about what is the impact of a coach like? How does the culture shift so quickly?
Right. Coach Neuheisel was a great coach. I wasn't here for Coach Neuheisel, but from the players in the past, and definitely was a great guy, was a great coach, was a great recruiter. He recruited me. But, I guess just some things weren't clicking at all cylinders, and to have a different eye come in and kind of just, refresh, hit the restart button, get some new stuff going, and it's definitely something they needed, and that's definitely where we're at right now. Coach Mora is a tremendous coach and a great guy.
What is it that makes him a great coach?
You never see a guy so passionate about the game. I mean, his attention to detail is crazy. It goes down to the pen that you're having in your hand. You know, he's looking at it to, you know, how high the papers can be, you know, put up in the locker room. They all have to be leveled. It's just like his attention to detail is crazy, and he loves every player. So that's definitely something. Those combinations are great.
How important is it for players to buy in, you think, for a coach to be successful? Because obviously, you know, Rick Neuheisel had a lot of success before UCLA. I'm not saying the players didn't buy into him, but you're talking about someone, attention to detail, and Mora's obviously had a lot of success in connection with the players. But some of the same traits people talk about how a coach is great, they can kind of flip in the reverse when that coach starts losing.
Right.
And players might, you know, now he puts us in too much pressure, too much stress.
Yeah.
So how important do you think it is that everyone buys in? You know, aside from just Coach Mora, as an athlete in general, how important is it for you and the team to buy into what a coach is saying, and how does the coach get that buy-in?
No, that's crazy you said that, because I think it starts with his staff, you know, seeing his staff all buy in, and then that leads us, because we deal with his staff more than we deal with him, you know. And so when they're all constantly preaching the same thing that he's preaching, and they're all doing what he's saying and preaching and stuff like that, then we definitely see that and we follow the same footsteps. I mean, the standards are so high right now at UCLA that, as just for athletics alone, it's just, you know, it's constantly trying to make us become great, become that national championship team.
As a coach who's formerly been in the NFL, is he starting to prepare you guys for what that next level is like? Is that something you're already thinking about, like what's next after college?
You definitely, you get a glimpse of it every meeting. You know, he always talks something about, you know, what the people in the league are doing, and, you know, how they're doing it and how well they do it and how we should be doing the same thing, because they're professionals, you know what I mean? And not everyone in our room or in our team will go professionally, but if we all start to practice and prepare like that, we'll definitely excel the whole team. So we definitely all look at that for sure.
What about you personally? Is that what you're wanting to do next?
Most definitely. I think I've been wanting to do that since I was a little kid. It's definitely your dream job, you know, so it's definitely something I would love to be a part of, that National Football League.
So you had an amazing sophomore year, 40-plus catches. Obviously, the NFL is a realistic dream for you. Now, if you make the NFL, you're going to get paid. Mm-hmm. As a college athlete, you're putting in arguably not the same amount of time, but tons of time. It is like a job.
Maybe more. You're also a student.
Yeah, you're also a student. That's true. Your free time isn't your free time. It's still the school's time. Yeah. So on that note, do you think college athletes should be paid, and how do you feel about, you know, your college experience being an athlete and how it's changed by it?
I stand firm by that. I definitely think we put in, you know, the same amount of hours as people that work, if not more. We put in a ton of time and a ton of sweat to our job, and we definitely bring in a huge income for the school. So I think that I don't think that we should get paid. I think we should get paid. I'll take that back. But I think that it should be put into like a fund for us after college to go into and kind of, you know, help us with, you know, whatever we need to do directly after college. I don't think that it's going to be okay giving a 20-year-old $10,000 a month. I don't think it's
That's the best answer I've heard on how college should be paid. That's
so,
the best answer I've heard.
I definitely think it should be a fund for after college, seeing as there's so many problems with students who can't get jobs after college. So,
and you throw in the lack of medical care going forward too, because I mean the NFL takes care of their guys to some extent, but it feels like college, you guys are putting the same punishment on your body and not.
But that's why, in my opinion, that's the best answer I've heard. Because I like what you said, it's not necessarily responsible to give a 20-year-old $10,000. Because that's a great point. It could just be spent recklessly at the time. Because, you know, when you're 20, you know, I'm 22, I feel like I'm still an idiot, right? You get older, you understand how to handle these things. And when we had Khalil Bell on a few weeks ago, we talked about how the NFL should create maybe more infrastructure to helping players. And I like that answer, because maybe that's the way colleges, and maybe that's the way colleges will pay players. They don't look at it as just giving cash to kids, of creating infrastructure for athletes who are sacrificing school time for once they're done with school.
Yeah, in that same vein, do you think that you're being prepared for a life outside of football in school right now? A lot of people talk about how you know, student athletes don't get the same education because of the work you have to put in for football. Do you feel like you're getting a real education from this?
I think it varies individually.
Yeah.
I think that I can proudly say that a lot of dudes do not get the same education. A lot of people come in with the mindset that they have to football, and I was definitely a victim of that. But now, as you like continue to, you know, if you kind of do like some self-realization and kind of look at things as if, you know, where can this take me, and how quick you actually see in college how quick careers get ended. I mean, literally,
one play.
You're with the dude on a Sunday night, and he wakes up the same time as you and gets out there, and he's done for the rest of his
Dietrich
career.
Reilly.
That first practice, that game, it's crazy. So you definitely have to look at it and definitely go about your business. Learning in the classroom and learning on the field. That's definitely something that a lot of us at UCLA try to do.
So how scary is that? Because were you on the team when Dietrich Reilly got hurt?
I wasn't. I came
you were
right
senior?
after.
Okay.
But I was with him after.
So Dietrich Reilly, for those who don't know, star player, great in high school, comes to UCLA, hard-hitting safety. It was a game against Oregon State or something. He hit a guy the wrong way. His neck gets injured. He can never play again. And I'm sure that happens all the time. Dietrich is known because it happened in a game because he's a star player. But how scary is that, knowing for as amazing as you are at football, for as much as you take care of your body as a student, before you're getting paid, it could be over like that?
Man, I mean, it's happened so many times now. I've seen like 6 guys already just medically retire. Concussions is a huge one. That's one of the things that we wanted to talk about for college, how the NCAA can help us with that. Yeah. But it's definitely crazy because these guys put in the same amount of time as you, and they put in, if not more than you, and all of a sudden their career is taken away. So you definitely have to, like we talked about before, you have to prepare and to always remind yourself that the game is a blessing that it can be taken away so fast.
In that vein, have you talked to Brett about coming back in that sense? This is a player who could have been a top 10 draft pick and been playing in the NFL and starting to cash checks today. Is that something that he's talked about at all? Obviously, he's coming back for a national championship, which is admirable. But
Brett is a good kid, man. A lot of people, he's a young kid. At heart, he wants to win. I talked to him after the Virginia Tech game after he just killed it, and he said that he definitely thinks he's gonna be coming back. And I thought that he was gonna say he's going to the NFL. He said that we had talked about it before, and he wasn't sure. So, I definitely think that he came back for the right reason. Whether he gets, I'm not gonna say it, but whether things happen or not, I think he definitely came back for a reason.
So let's transition a bit here. So you have grown up in the social media age when you were a highly recruited prospect out of Oaks Christian, offers from every prestigious school. You had Facebook, you had Twitter. Now there's Instagram. Fans can connect with you in ways they haven't before. Potentially, you could say harass you, and also your life's under a microscope. So what's it been like being a kid with social media, but also being a public figure for all intents and purposes? And do you think that pressure that you're put under is fair?
We hate the pressure, I'll be honest. I think every single athlete hates the pressure. You gotta always maintain the image, whether you're sitting at home or if you're just, hanging out with your friends. You always have to show the right image.
Are you thinking about that?
All
those
the time.
moments where you say,
I mean, a lot of times,
so it's a
and the
conscious
guys
thought,
who don't think about it, they get in trouble. You'll see them on some type of site. But we definitely are always thinking about what we post. We go through, I'll literally have a post on Instagram in the filter thing for 3 days, just because I keep looking at it to make sure that it's gonna be okay. If it's not a football picture, the caption or something like that. But I don't know if it's fair. I don't know, but it's definitely the standards we live by, and it's real. So whether I say it's not fair or not.
But that's the thing with social media and the internet. Once you put it out there, it's there. You might delete it, but they're gonna pull it. I can say something stupid in my real life. I can say something stupid on Twitter, and all your tweets are stupid, Bobby. So what that is.
At least I don't have a homeless guy's beard.
But no one cares. And the thing is, I'm 22. I know I'm going to be dumb and make mistakes, and that I have that room to grow. Do you ever feel like I'm a 20-year-old, and if I do a dumb tweet, it could hurt my payday in the NFL because I got character concerns?
Man, I mean, I wish it wasn't like that, but it's the reality. And we had a company come in a couple weeks ago and talk to us about our tweets specifically.
Really?
Yeah, and they're an executive firm, and they pulled up all our past tweets. And they highlighted them, what we should be saying, what we can't say, and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty real, and it's actually pretty crazy, all the stuff that, right when you tweet that, like you said, it's there. Whether you delete it or not, they still get it. And it's like...
Do you also kind of view it as an opportunity? You look at these guys like Chad Ochocinco, who's built kind of a career after football from building such a strong following, though. Do you guys ever look at it as an opportunity, too, or is it mostly just that fear?
You definitely see that some guys are good at it, Some guys are good at social media, and some guys can definitely look at a career like that. Like Dietrich Reilly, he's so good at social media, and he's got a huge following. So that's definitely something he's going to end up doing.
So, before we let you get out of here, what advice, based on everything you've learned as a top prospect, as someone who's dealing with these pressures, would you give to younger stars, high school recruits? Because the pressure's getting higher and higher, and the attention is, like you can focus on someone so young now. So what advice would you give?
I'd say just continue to grind and think of the game how you thought of it when you were young, because that's going to leave you. No matter what level you get to, it becomes your job. So that same fun, the same competition you had with your friends in the park and stuff, how it was just a game at that point, just constantly remind yourself that it's just a game, because it can get overwhelming. It can take over your life and affect other things in your life for sure. So just continue to grind, man. It's a grind for sure. It's hell, honestly, but the rewards are huge.
And it's so funny you say that, because I just graduated college. You're not too long of a recent grad. When school's like supposed to be the time to be carefree, and it is a full-time job.
Yeah.
And it's like, plenty of students across the country have full-time jobs they have to have, but your body's getting battered every day.
Every day, yeah. Every day you're going through some type of physical strain. So it's a grind, like I said, but it's definitely worth it.
So what should we expect from UCLA football this year?
I think it's going to be a phenomenal year. We have a great fan base behind us, and we're definitely looking at a huge year. Hopefully a national championship year. That's what we're working for.
Now, there are a ton of UCLA fans out there who are going to check this out. How can we follow you?
I'm on social media. I'm on Twitter. My name is Spooky on Twitter. Don't ask me why I have that handle on it, but on Instagram, it's Mr. Spooky.
And your tweets and Instagrams are going to be really well thought out, because we just talked about how you can't get in trouble.
3 days of checking filters, so they're top notch.
Yeah, exactly.
That difference between sepia and any other filter, there's a big difference. You got to pick that. You got to get the sunlight shade correctly.
Just know those pictures, you better like them, because they've been in the filter for 3 days.
Like my pictures. I get like 30 likes a picture. I need more likes.
Yep. Your name is too bad, though. It's pretty hard to find this guy. So before we go, World Cup predictions. Are you a soccer fan at all?
Yeah, I actually just saw the Netherlands-Spain game. I think Germany's going to win it, but we'll see.
How is the U.S. going to do?
The U.S. is going to do really well.
Are we going to advance from the group?
They will advance from the group.
Jackie Boy, what do you think?
I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about right now, and it's Netherlands will win the World Cup.
Netherlands.
Ooh.
I hope they won today, because if they didn't, then that probably is my prediction. Okay,
Yeah,
great selection by me.
My prediction is Argentina. European teams never win off European soil. I think Argentina's going to win it. Messi's going to win the Golden Boot. The U.S. will advance out of their group as well.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Well, first of all, Jordan, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys
we
for
look
having me.
forward to seeing your career blossom and grow. I'm sure a big junior season, and lots of tweets about it too.
Yep. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
So this was another episode of The Zone. We look forward to coming back with you next week with more guests and more hard-hitting topics.